Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 13. We are on the last quarter of the class. So I recommend keeping your foot on the gas. Keep doing everything that you've been doing that has kept you up to date. If you're not up to date, add some time in, right, for this class to catch up. Now, one thing that I don't think academics say enough is question the textbook, question your teachers, right? And I'm not talking Alex Jones, there's stuff in the water to make us gay, kind of crap. I'm talking about doing some research, seeing how things work together, understanding our own biases, right? That if I like a certain idea, I'm not going to want to challenge it, right? Because if I don't like an idea, I will be more critical of it. The real skill comes when you, as an academic, can take an idea that you like and say, ooh, I like it, but is it accurate? So what I want you to do is read the summary of chapter 12. It's been a while. Feel free to read the entire chapter if you want, but we read it before. So reading like the last 4 pages gives you a nice overview. But what I want you to do, and not just on chapter 12, is I want you to, and you can page through any of the chapters that we've read and double check something. Because in the back of our book, you will see notes by pages, right? So you can actually see something that he said. You'll see a little 42 by it and then go and say, oh, 42, look, this is where the idea came from. And then you can use that to research it. And I'm going to show you two things that I like. But before I do, for Thursday, I want you to double check something, right? And then I want you to share with Hillary, right, our tutor, about your topic. So put the topic that you're thinking of write about in your post, a complete sentence, right? So it's not cancer treatment, right? It's right. How is cancer treatment affected by corporations' need for profit? I don't know. I'm just making that up in the spot. And then that's in the topic, so she knows what's going on. And then in the body of the post, put down what you're interested in, what kind of sources you're going to be looking for, and how you're going to look at it at multiple angles. And Hillary just sent me a couple articles that she thought would be good on multiple angles. I need to look at them, and most likely I'll be posting something a little bit later. But those multiple angles, this goes all the way to the Dodge Durango video I showed you, right? Remember, you look at it from the front, it has no doors. You look at it from the back, it has one. You look at it from the side, it has two or three if you count the gas cap on one side, right? So I really want you to show me you can look at things from multiple angles and take an idea that you like and make sure it's not just something that you like. Here's an example. If you go to the database, right? I'm using Academic Search Premier. It's a good catch-all. Now say, and this came up in the Stanford prison experiment. Now this was written about, right? Oh, look how bad we are. We're all going to turn evil if this happens. And it's probably another student who showed this to me, or I read somewhere. It's crap. So you take a person, an experiment that you like or you don't like, but you want to question, and then type in criticism. This is a really cool way to see if there's any information out there, right, about just that, criticizing those ideas. And look, there's always going to be somebody who's going to criticize. So you have to read it and actually see, is the criticism valid? Because a lot of people, and unfortunately, I could give you example after example of somebody saying something reasonable and then being torn apart where people aren't actually looking at what they said, just assuming what they said was something else. So now, coverage of the Stanford experiment. Look at this. One of psychology's most famous experiments was seriously flawed. Now this thing, look at this. He used it in his book. This is in a lot of introductory textbooks. So I'm going to go to, this one's got a PDF, right? It's nice, and I can read. And what you're going to find is it was really bad when you read this, the way that it was set up. So this one gave me an article. Actually, I'm going to go to the detailed record. So I can read that and see what the critique is, right? This article discusses the criticism, lead investigator. All right. There was one article in here, and actually the first time I did the search, something else came up, but it wasn't available. I like the database. Try it. I want you to have two sources. Then the other thing I did, oh, here was the other one. This one, and I'd already had criticism written in here, came up with debunking the Stanford prison experiment. And this one, it wasn't available. So, but I know it's out there. This assignment has a short turnaround, so I'm not really going to go to request this one. I went and did the Google site edu search, right? And look what I found. The Stanford prison experiment was massively influential. We just learned it was a fraud. I mean, this guy's made a ton of money out of this research and a career, right? So that was, look, I took the title of that one article, right? Debunking the Stanford prison experiment. And then I just put, well, what the heck? I put that in, site edu, and then actually there's that one. Here's another one. And now I'm getting a lot more going into what's wrong with the study. For this assignment, it's not just finding the debunking, right? Finding what's the flaws. Read it, make sure it's valid, make some sense. Yep, there's a criticism. And or what you might find, and actually I think this is going to be the case, I think, and I'm making up this number, 92.6% of everything you find in here is going to be backed by the research. And a confirmation is just as good as a negative result, right? Because if the book wasn't, right, mainly stuff that backs up, I would not have you read it. The fact that there's about, so far, I think students have pulled out 2 or 3 tops, things that are like, hey, this one thing, not as solid as everything else, is not bad. So, double check. What do you think? What did you find? Now, most likely, you're going to find out that, yeah, it was pretty solid, right? But I like to show you the example of where it isn't, because even a book that I like, an author that I respect, right? Being an expert does not make anybody perfect. It makes them informed. And when you think about all the information out there, all the pressures out there for people to be successful, right, in these experiments and to use them, it really shouldn't come as a surprise that even scientists, or maybe even especially scientists, right, because they want to keep their reputation, they want to get, there's a limited source of money, so they want to make sure they get funded, that at times some of them will fudge results or set things up to get the result that they want, as opposed to setting them up to see what the actual truth is. That's for Thursday. Check in with Hillary also. And for Monday, I want you, so, and I'll be looking into, and you can send me any questions that you have, right? Please do so before Friday, because tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, I'm checking my emails, and I'll be able to get back to you. Over the weekend, I'm not as often on the phone, because I'm on the phone in this class, because working 6 or 7 days a week would drive me crazy. So I want you to do a working introduction, which just means you use one of those strategies, right? And I pulled those up. Working introduction and 1 page. So this is for Monday, 1 page on the most interesting source so far. So what that means. You found a good source. Let us know what the source is. Give us a brief summary of what it is, and now tell us why that's important and how it relates to your topic. And so on Monday, by Monday, everybody should have a working introduction. They got a feel for where they're going. They will have found some sources and actually picked one and got a page on it. And that's all to get you moving before the first draft is due. that covers it. I hope everybody is having a good day, right, and a good week. This is this has been crazy, and so I'm sorry that my other classes, switching them to online, has definitely been taking up way more time than I thought. So anything comes up, right, please send me questions, emails if you have. Send me emails if you got questions on anything. That does it for now, and I'll be back on Friday.